And welcome into In-Game Chat for Saturday, January the 14th, 2023. Season 17. Did I get 14th right? I did. Good. Season 17, Episode 2. I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
Welcome into the show, everybody. Glad you are here with us. Yeah. Do this thing here real quick. As I sort of lower the music so I can pick up the part of it. Then we set it off to the side and don't worry about it until another week goes by. If you want to get in touch with us, our number is 334-272-9228. You can check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at ingamechat. You can find us on Facebook there as well. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We're streaming right now on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv and search for In-Game Chat. You'll find us, and you'll be able to watch us talk about video games. If you want to just listen to us talk, you can do that too. Whatever you want. You can also join us live in the chat room while we broadcast, and we've got Discord on, and we are in the on-air chat there in Discord where you can jump in and talk to us there as well if you would like to. So welcome into the show. How you been, RJ? Haven't seen you in a week. What's been going on?
Let's see. Computer problems are still acting up.
That's right. What's our update on that? Anything new?
I thought I was looking at the motherboard, took everything out of there, took the video card off, and I looked at the motherboard again. I'm thinking, is there anything on here I could look at or check or do anything about to see if the motherboard is the actual problem? Then I saw the CMOS battery in there, and I'm like, and I looked it up. Does the CMOS battery have anything to do with the computer booting up? Can it possibly mess with something? And some people said yes, some said no. So I'm like, well, let's check it out. And since it was the battery that came with the board when I bought the thing years ago, swapped it out, had another 2032 online, put it in there. And same result. So, okay, that's it. There's nothing else on this board that I can check. So it's looking like, most likely, it's just going to have to be another board. Just replace the board and put it in there.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was the case.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you don't have any spare parts, I guess, sitting around here.
I got spare parts, but motherboards ain't.
Not a motherboard, yeah.
No, a motherboard is like...
We don't really keep motherboards sitting around as much as we do all the other components. Well, that and I guess processors, too. I don't really keep processors sitting around.
No, you don't really. I mean, especially with the way I update a computer, it's like 7 or 8 years before I update a computer. So by the time that comes around, that old motherboard is not fitting in there, most likely. So
it was the one I just did back in October, back in 2020 of October of 2020. I'll get the phrasing right eventually. That one that I did, that was my first update. That was my first rebuild since, God, I can't even remember now. Got to go back to 2010 maybe. Mm-hmm. So about a 10-year computer. Now, I did do some updates in between 2010 and 2020. Mm-hmm. You know, I got a new graphics card to go in there.
Yeah.
But I didn't do a complete new rebuild, new processor, new everything until 2020. And that was, I want to say it was like 12 years. Mm-hmm. I think it was around 12 or so years since I had done an update. And I've got pictures of my update to tell you. Mm-hmm. And I've mentioned it on the show how many years ago it was. So, I mean, I could go back and look at that, but... No, complete rebuild. Mm-hmm. Those are few and far between.
Yeah, all the new parts, new everything, new this, new that.
Updating things within, sure. Mm-hmm. And I see that happening with the PC that I currently have. Sure, I mean I've got RAM for days. My processor is going to be a perfectly fine, thing to go through ever how many years. Mm-hmm. My graphics card right now, hopefully, will be perfectly fine to go through many, many years as well. Then you're looking at power supply, hard drives, that sort of thing. But you really don't ever factor in motherboards. It's a prime and it is a main component of a PC. I mean, everything kind of is, but yeah, it's the one of those things that you just don't keep a lot around for. I mean, power supplies, I don't really keep an extra one on hand, but I have other computers that I can snag a power supply from. Mm-hmm. It's a little different to just grab a motherboard that's sitting around.
Yeah.
Because it has to match your processor and, it has to be compatible. Mm-hmm. And so it's a little bit difficult for that. Hard drives you can keep around for days. Coolers, RAM, even most RAM, you should be fine with on that as well. There's plenty of things that are really interchangeable, but when your base component, your motherboard is out, the whole thing's got to be redone. Yeah, everything's got to be, unless
you find the exact same
unless you
motherboard.
Get the same motherboard, exactly. Which the way it works with you and I is that it goes so long in between, and sure, you could find those probably on a used market.
Mm-hmm. Used, refurbished, things like
that.
Refurbed,
yeah, exactly. You should be able to do that if you want to go that route. But for the most part,
in this case, I have to.
Yeah,
brand new. All I've been finding for this board that I've got is certified refurbished or used, one of the two.
Yeah,
not brand new. But I'm going to go that route because what I got now ain't working.
I know.
So
I know.
Yeah,
and it sucks. I was talking with Wendy about that because she was listening to the show last week, and I said, "Man, it's one of the worst things when you don't have a computer at your disposal, regardless of what of whatever you use it for, whether it just be to game, whether it just be to, just browse the internet, whether it be to you got work and stuff that you do with it, or whatever the case may be,
things like that. Yeah,
yeah, it just really if mine goes down, man, my connection to this place goes away from home anyway. Well, I guess I could do it with the laptop here, but still, I lose that connection. Obviously, no gaming. The whole internet aspect of things goes away as far as let me go check something real quick, or let me buy these tickets, or let me, whatever the case. I don't need to explain that the convenience of having a computer to people is because they know that, but I hate it when it happens. I hate it when I can't. When that graphics card died on me, obviously I had another one. I shoved it in there. When my power supply died, the next available time I was able to get out, which was the next day, go out and get one. Because I said, look, if I can fix it, sure, that'll be great. I'll just return this. Mm-hmm. But obviously that wasn't the case, So, I hate it, and I hate it for you. It is levels of leaving your phone at home kind of annoyances for me.
Oh yeah,
maybe not for you, but
I left my phone at home plenty of times.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Not because it's not my connection to the outside world. Mm-hmm. My phone isn't. It is my connection to the work world.
Yeah,
basically.
Your job's involved. So yeah.
It's my connection to Wendy. Mm-hmm. So if anything goes,
south
anyway.
Yeah.
If anything goes in any direction, I need to be able to get in. If I don't have that, it's one of those things. So, I think about that again. It's not because my social media I can't look at it. It's not anything like that. It's just that connection that you have and the ability that you have. Which whatever, we lived with that stuff forever before we had cell phones. Mm-hmm. I've been through the dark ages. It was fine.
Yeah,
but we don't have to go back to them. Is the point? And say, I know a lot of people are like, well, back in my day, we didn't have to. It was no. Back in your day, you didn't have to because it wasn't around. It's around now. We don't need to go back to back in your day to do that.
Well, Okay, we don't have to go back to it. That is true, but you can handle it if things go back.
No, you
Yeah.
can. You
Good.
can. I mean, there's ways now to do that usually. You know, obviously, luckily I work here, and there's plenty of computers around this building that I can reach out and get into, or a phone that I can borrow, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
There's plenty of ways of doing that. But anyway, going off on a rant. I hate that you don't have your computer available to you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but all I got to do is get the board and replace it, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully.
is that what you're going to do? You're going to get a refurb? What are you going to do?
Refurb or use.
And the refurbs are going for
The price ranges I've seen for refurbished and used were anywhere from $99, which looks sketchy, to $140,
What?
$160.
How old is this motherboard of yours?
Old enough.
What? Old enough.
Old enough that I can't find any new.
Well, not even new. I mean, refurb going for $100 some odd. That's, I don't know. I mean, how old is the motherboard? What year is the motherboard? Do you know?
No, not offhand. I mean, it was a long time ago when I got this thing built and put up. I probably go to Newegg or PC Parts Picker or something to look at and see what year I picked this thing up at. It was about a good.
I'm just
maybe
curious
3 or 4
why
years ago.
a used one, regardless of condition, but just why a used one would be even near $100. Then again, I have not bought refurbed anything for computers, by the way. Mm-hmm. As far as I know, I haven't bought anything refurbed for a computer. Maybe no. I was going to say maybe a monitor, but
I would say safe bet as far as you know.
Yeah.
There's some sketchy sellers out there too.
That's one of those things when you're picking parts for a PC and stuff like that. There's certain things that you really just don't want to skimp on, or that you really don't want to buy refurbed or use.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where it's like, okay. I mean, I may buy it on discount, but it's still going to be new, never opened, type of thing. Can't do it that way. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So computer's still down. What else going on?
Well, in terms of playing, I started Until Dawn.
Hey,
Getting
good
back on
job.
that. Yeah.
Did you restart it?
I had to restart it.
You had to.
Couldn't remember.
Did you have to?
Jack anything?
I was going to say, did you have to because
Couldn't remember anything.
it wouldn't do it, or you just because you were lost?
I lost. Couldn't remember things. And so that's 2 games now. I got to start over on Sekiro, and so I'm starting over on Until Dawn. But something else.
Sekiro. I don't know. We'll get into that in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. But something else, some other maintenance things I got to do. I'm thinking I'm going to have to do what I did with my PC, just strip down, dust, and reapply paste.
Yeah.
Because high-end games, I'm finding out now, makes the PS4 run too hot. Mm-hmm. So dusting I'm about to do for dusting anyway, and since I got that paste for the PC, I mean, may as well put the paste on the PS4 as well from a complete teardown and rebuild. I mean, I'm looking at a few of these teardown videos from YouTube. Look at about 3 or 4 of them, see what the process is. The hardest thing about it appears to be just keeping up with all the screws that you have to take out, because it's like 12 on one part and 14 on another, and just having to keep up with them.
Yeah.
And having the right tools for the task. And I got a set of precision screwdrivers I can work with, something to help pry things off. And I got to take out some components with brackets and wires. I got to take those out and make sure I put everything back in the right place, in the right position. So I'm going to do that so I can at least alleviate the heat that's in that thing with the high-end games. Like something like Pac-Man Championship Edition, nothing happens. Warframe, if I put it down at lower settings, it's fine. It won't overheat. But something like a God of War.
When you say overheat, do you actually get a warning? Do you get something that pops up and says...
The PS4 says, hey, it's too hot. I'm shutting down.
Oh, that's what it did.
It says, okay,
wow.
shut it off.
I've never had that.
Yeah, so got
Why is that happening with you?
Got the red light on and everything.
What you have a launch PS4? What PS4 do you have?
It's not the Slim. It's an older model PS4.
It's an older model PS4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I eventually got the Pro, so that's why I can't really say anything. Because I was thinking, man, I had my PS4 for a long time. No. Wait a second. You swapped out, got a Pro. Mm-hmm. You have had a PS4 for a long time, but you picked up a Pro. So, not saying the Pro was better, but I'm just saying you did get a newer one than probably what he has. Mm-hmm. So, So yeah, but I've never come across that on any of my, and I mean, goes back anytime. I've never come across a message popping up saying that it's running too hot and needs to shut down.
Yeah.
Wow.
It started with Warframe, and then it started with.
Does it give you any
Until
kind
Dawn.
of a heads up, or does it just?
It had that pop up message before, and then sometimes it would just like I think I'd like put it on put the home screen, got to go do something, came back, I heard something go beep, and then I look back at this thing, and the PS4 is off, completely off. So, and then when I turned it back on later, it said this thing was not shut down properly, which means this thing was shut down immediately. No,
well, it
prompting or
overheated.
anything.
Yeah.
It overheated and just cut itself off. So I'm going to do some maintenance, dusting, and reapply the paste on there. Because heck, the PS4 is older than my PC, so heck, the paste on there is probably
The PS4 is
gone.
older than your PC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then maybe your mother... I guess time is a weird thing for me, because I'm trying to think. I don't remember when the PS4 came out. My memory is just bad. I don't remember when the PS4 came out.
We got internet.
2013? 2014? Yeah, I don't know, man.
We got the internet right here. November 15th of 2013.
2013.
Yep.
You got launch? Or you didn't get launch?
Not quite launch, but
Well, I mean, you don't get consoles until it's got enough games that you want to do
yeah,
something
so
with
probably
them. So
14 or 15.
yeah. And your computer isn't
I want to say 3-4 years at best. 5.
5 years ago for your computer?
Maybe.
Wow. Okay, I thought it was
I'm
older.
just guessing.
I thought it was older. I
Yeah.
thought it was older than that. I thought you were looking at like 10 or 12 years
No,
older
my
on PC.
my previous one before this one
Was around that time,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was, yeah.
Okay,
I kept it
okay.
one a long time up and running.
Well, then the refurb on your motherboard pricing that you were talking about, okay, not so bad now.
Yeah.
But little context there for me,
Yeah.
anyway, from what you had said. So, yeah, 2013 for the PS4. The Pro was probably in 2017 or 18, I think. I can't remember. So yeah, that's when I redid mine. But man, that sucks. Computer's down. Your PS4 is like, hey, it's too hot. I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah,
What
gotta
are
do maintenance.
what else then? What else have you played? What other things have you run into?
Well, just that. But gaming wise was Warframe Until Dawn, a little bit of Virtua Fighter 5. Did that. Played some online matches with that. Had a good time doing that. Other than that, just that's pretty much it. PC problems, and now I'm going to do a strip down of maintenance on my PS4.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, okay then.
2016 it says. The PS4.
The Pro.
November 10th, 2016.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I may not have picked it up until 2018, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. It had been out for a while. I did not immediately get it because the price tag was just too much for me at that time. But I remember they were doing a trade-in deal or something like that, and I gave them my old PS4 and picked up a Pro and only had to pay like, I don't know, $60, $80. It was under $100 to get the Pro, so I was fine with that.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. That's it for you on the gaming side of things, huh? Mm-hmm. All right. As far as I'm concerned, I am impressed. You know, you bring up God of War. I played a big chunk of it last night. I played a big chunk of it. I've been playing little chunks of it all week. Big chunk of it last night. I am still, it's not still, but I am. I got to a point in the game where I thought, all right, it looks like we're about to get on. You know, games like to do this, especially adventure games like this, or story-driven games like this.
Yeah.
Big story games like this. They like to send you. It's usually like as soon as you fix one thing, something else breaks. And I only mean that in story-wise. In other words, you know, you get a piece of information that says, "Hey, we got to go find this thing." Well, you go ask a dude, "Hey, do you know where this thing is?" And dude's like, "I do, but you need to do something for me." So then suddenly your focus is shifted to do whatever this dude needs you to do. And then you come back and he gives you a little bit of information, but all that's doing is sending you to someone else where you have to do some other chore, or your companion splits apart and then you get somebody else, or you have to go, there's all these different things that go into it to lengthen the story of what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I really am in most cases. And I'm okay with it here. The thing that has impressed me on this was that I'd gotten to a point where we kept doing this, where it's like, God, if it's not one thing, it's another. Everything felt like a diversion from the main path. Mm-hmm. Even though it was full story mode. And again, I'm being so super vague because I really don't want to spoil anything.
I think that the side things, if it's not like consistently back to back to back, it's not as unbearable.
I'm not even talking about side things. Mm-hmm. The side things, there are a ton of. And I realize those things are optional.
Well, I should have said it better. The things anything that takes away from the main story, I guess, mm-hmm. you have a main task, basically, in this game.
Well, yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, you got a main task in this game, and anything that sounds like you got to do this for this dude before I can get back on the main task. Things like that. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean,
if they're not like back to back, consistently back to back to back, something that dissuades you from going, that makes you perceive that you're being taken away from the main mm-hmm. Goal, then yeah, it will get a little tedious after a while. But if you spread it out enough, I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it just felt like I was coming to. I defeated a pretty big, and I want to say story boss on this. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily know that he was a big boss because I've had harder times with other bosses before. Then again, as much as I explore and go around and level up and everything else, maybe I was just at a point where this fight was a lot easier than what it normally would have been had I not done that. Point being is, it felt like a really big story fight, which at the time, given all the characters involved, I felt like, okay, we're getting funneled into this open world, and then everything you do in this open world leads you down this sort of funnel to point of no return. Like, here we go. This is the one that's going to set us on the path to complete this story and go through whatever's left type of thing. Right. Not at a fast pace, obviously, but the diversions were going to be less and less and less mm-hmm. because it was going to be more driven on like, okay, you just did this, now you got to go do this, do this. There was a point at which I was going to do something, and there was a path that led off to where I could go. There was even a prompt for me to press the button to make the jump, to go over to the other side. And as soon as I pressed that button, old Mimir on my belt there is like, no, we've got to go do this, totally cutting me off from mm-hmm. exploring, which they don't normally do that. And I thought, oh, okay, so they want me to, which I'm fine with. In a game as vast and big and open world as God of War is, especially the sequel, I'm fine with them saying, nah, let's wait on this. You go do the thing, because I will completely scour the nook, the cranny, the corners, all of it, mm-hmm. when you give me the opportunity. But as soon as you tell me that, hey, we need to go do this, I put the blinders on and let's go, mm-hmm. Let's go do our thing. Anyway, point being is that I really felt like I was about to be funneled into that point, big story boss that I had defeated. I'm like, oh, this is a big deal. There's a lot of cutscenes. Then I get to this area. Here I am. I don't know. I'm 30 some odd hours into this thing. I get to this area that is massive, a massive, wide open, explorable area. And I just thought, at the same time, I'm thinking, no, not more. And then I'm also thinking, holy God, there's a lot of stuff in this game. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff in this game. And I was impressed, and at the same time, a little fatigued from it, because it's like, oh man, now, because anytime somebody like me plays these open world games and does the thorough searching that I do and go through these things, and there's plenty of people who do this as well, you're compelled to do it, man. It's like this unseen force within you is like, you need to go and go grid this thing out, cover mm-hmm. every single thing that you can so you don't miss anything.
Or you would do this, which I've done before. I look and I see if all this grinding and exploring, is it worth it? Because this is a story game.
Yeah.
The exploration is taken away from finishing the story.
Well, you're right. You are right.
Yeah. So anything. So like I said, anything that takes me away from that, I hope it's. I want to know if it's worth it or not.
Yeah. Well, to try and express or try and explain without spoiling. And again, I'm being so vague here, folks, and I'm sorry. This was a side quest. This was not something I had to do. It was a side quest. And so, I'm at the hub, and again, either I don't know if it's Atreus or Mimir, or I don't know who else it is, but they're all like, "Hey, well, I guess we need to go do this, but if you don't feel like it, we can go to explore." Blah blah blah. They tell you all these things. They talk a lot, and so I'm like, okay, let's go do that then. It's a side quest, and let's go rescue old boy. And then it opens up into this massive area. Turns out this massive area is a side quest itself. Not just what I was going to do. That is a side quest too. But the massive area has its own story, has its own side quest. And then within that massive area are these other little side quests within it. Are they advancing any kind of a story? Mostly, yes and no. Some of them really don't, but they're good for XP, and the story that they're telling there, even though it's like a quick little sidebar story, might be interesting. Some of them really do work towards building the character of, or continuing the character of Kratos and the journey that he's on, along with Atreus, and pretty much all of them, especially all the different characters that are now involved in what you're doing. I did a side quest, I think, for one of the dwarves, and learned about their backstory on this, which for me was I enjoyed that, but it was something that otherwise I likely would not have gotten, if I had not done that, and so yes and no, it does. Push the story, but also knowing that now, or at least Kratos now knowing that, changes his perception of things, or at least you think it might. It's one of those things where you have to interpret that it did, because Kratos is going to be the same way whether or not you did either of those things. That I know of. Today's games are different like that. Today's games can take the fact that, hey, you skipped that story, so this bit of knowledge for your main character is not in his head, so he's still going to be this same person until you do that side quest. And then you would get different responses, or you might get some extra dialogue later on when they reference back to that story or something like that. I can't tell you if it's there or not because I complete every single thing that gets thrown at me. I would say a blessing and a curse on that, because I like it and I don't like it. I like it because it's just more game. And sometimes they're really interesting. In fact, there is a side quest in here that was put in by one of the developers as kind of a love letter type thing, not to the gamer or anything like that, but to their significant other. And it tells their story, and that's really kind of neat to see that that's in there, that sort of thing. I don't know that I'll finish it because it requires doing quite a lot of stuff, but as much as I've been going through this thing 30 some odd hours now, I think I'll be able to finish that. There are times when playing that I'm ready to get the story going. I'm ready to get like, hey man, 30 hours, I'm ready. We're good. We can go ahead and finish this. But then at the same time, I'm like, I know that when I do, I'm not going to come back. Like when I do come back, it'll be to do a replay or a new game plus, but I'm not going to come back when it's all done that I know of. If they throw something interesting after the game is over with that gives me that drive, even though the end of the game is done, if there's something where it's like, yeah, but if you do all this, you get some other cutscene that goes along with it, or some other story factoid or something that's significant, then, maybe I'll push for that. But for the most part, I don't. When I finish the game, I don't go back.
Yeah, but it's typical of the case in story-based games. I think we talked about it before.
Or
it's
go back or continue. You know?
Yeah, it's like watching a movie. You've seen that movie. I mean, most times you don't want to go. Most times you're not going to go back and see it again unless it hits you a certain way.
Yeah, I replayed a lot of games, with Wendy there to show her some of those Shadow of the Colossus, that sort of thing. Of course, Shadow of the Colossus I hadn't played in never how long since the thing came out. And then Uncharted games and stuff like that, Last of Us, and I even replayed through God of War. Partly my benefit as well with her there to see it too. So there is this moment of like, let's wrap it up, guys. I've been going for 30 hours on this thing. Let's finish it off. That's my own fault because I've decided to, go off and explore. So I don't know. We'll eventually get there. I keep thinking about, I should plug another game in there and play something else for a little while. Play Alan Wake or play Sifu or something like that. But every time I think about it, I'm like, no, man, let's go. Let's continue. We just opened up this big area to explore. Let's go explore it. I have the ability now, and I don't know that this is I don't think it's a spoiler now because I know there were scenes of this in the trailer and in a lot of previews. I watched a ton of reviews, and they were using B-roll footage, nothing there to spoil you. But there's a shot in the trailer. There's a shot in a lot of the stuff where Kratos' son shoots an arrow into the sky, the dog chases it, and suddenly night or day becomes night. I now have the ability to change between day and night. As long as I can find it's called an altar. As long as I can find an altar nearby, I can change night into day into night, whichever way. And of course that opens up different things. Some things are closed off during the daytime that you can't do. Some things are closed off at night that you can only do in the day. So there's different enemy types at night. And there's different enemy types during the day. And so, yeah, there's a lot. That may give, for those of you listening, that may give you an idea as to where I'm at. This big area that has an inkling of familiarity to it. A sense of, I know this place, but this place looks really different. But you know this place. And so I haven't gotten into the story aspect of why I have that familiar feeling. And I'm not talking about the character. I'm talking about me as the player. I have that familiar feeling like this is a different version of a place I've already been in. And I haven't gotten the story explanation as to why am I in a different version of a place I've already been. That has not yet been explained to me. So I'm waiting to find that out. But yeah. That's a long way to say I'm still playing God of War Ragnarok. I am still playing Destiny 2, of course. That is going to always be a thing. We are, what's today, 14th? We are a little over a month away from the new expansion. So I don't think I'm going to be prepping for that. Like I have been between seasons. I've been, getting everything geared up and ready to whatever. I don't know that I'm going to be doing that. This is a shorter season than the others have been, and I'm not as further along, I think, as I would like to be in my progression of the season. To think that I can start now banking all the bounties and XP and everything else. I don't think I'm there yet. And so, and at the same time, I just don't, I'm like, all right, we did that for 2 or 3 seasons now, 2 seasons. Let's just go in normal on the brand new expansion. Let's not try and rush through it because there's likely a lot of stuff that's going to have to be done when you have a new expansion. New seasons within an expansion, not a lot to be done. New expansion, a lot to be done. You got to be familiar with a new area, completely new area. And I don't know how massive that new area is going to be. New enemy types that you're going to be running into. That sort of thing. There's going to be just all kinds of, and there's big changes in play for Lightfall, which comes out in February. It may not happen season 1, but like by season 2 or 3, they're going to have the LFG put in there. They're looking for groups in the game itself. They're going to have loadouts built into the game so that you can one-click on anything or you can build your character with different mods, different weapons, different armor, different different stats, all these other things. You can save that, and then you can just do one click and it all gets applied. But they're putting that in game. We had that through some third-party apps to be able to do that, but now they're putting it all in game. There's going to be a rating system as far as, I don't know how that's going to work. That's coming later on, where when you're teaming up with people, random people, you can say that guy was good. I don't think you can give them negative reviews, but you can give them good reviews. I guess not giving them a review would be the negative review.
Yeah, I guess.
So we'll see how that goes. Yeah,
because negative reviews will get spammed.
Right.
Out of
I don't think
existence.
I don't think they're offering that. I think that you can give them like give them thumbs up on that one. That was good, or that's it. You can't give them a thumbs down or rate them negatively or anything like that.
So they went YouTube for a second, right?
Well, kind of. Maybe you could say Facebook, because Facebook doesn't have like reactions that are. Well, they do. They have the anger face, I guess.
Well, I was thinking about YouTube. The likes were present, but the dislikes were.
Oh, really? They took away the dislikes?
It was like when you. They did something with the likes with the like meter. That you could see how many likes it got, but you didn't see the dislikes for some reason until you get some type of tool or add-on for your browser, or in some cases to get that thing back on there.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, you can look at how liked a video is, or anything is, even if they don't show you what the dislikes are. If you are able to see how many views something has had or how many times people have looked at something, and then you can also compare that to how many times people have liked it, you can kind of get an idea of, the ratio there as far as like, well, this many people have watched it, but only this many people have liked it. It's the same way you look at Amazon reviews. Like, this is your bestseller, but or not your bestseller, but
Amazon's Choice.
Yeah, something like that. And I can look at the reviews of it, and I can see. The thing is like, that's the cheap one, and there's only like 50 reviews. This one is like $15 more, but it's got over 1,000. You can ratio that whole thing. Like, this has 5-star reviews, but it's only got 50 reviews. It's rated 5 stars. This one's got 4.5, but it has 2,500 reviews. There's a little bit of better quality there. Not necessarily, but in theory, yes.
Yeah.
2,500 people have used it, and it's got 4.5 stars. Yeah. That's a good bet.
Basically, if the
50 people
numbers are true,
yeah,
then what you're saying is
so
right.
You can kind of look at that. We've gone on for way too long. We have gone on far too long. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will, we'll jump into some news there, I guess. There's nothing. Oh, yeah, and I've been playing Marvel Snap, just a whole lot of Marvel Snap. If you haven't been playing Marvel Snap and you're interested in it, it's absolutely free. It's in your app store. It's on Steam and PC. It's, again, totally free there as well. Later this month, I believe on the 30th or 31st, something later this month, they're going to implement new modes in the game, and the big one everybody's looking forward to is being able to play your friends. Well, first off, there's no friends settings on the game yet, but that is apparently going to be implemented with this update that's coming later this month, so that you can start having friends. You and your friends can play games against each other. I don't know how that's going to work as far as ranking or anything like that. I don't know, but that's coming. Currently, right now, it's all just random as to who you get matched against. I say it's random. There is some sort of matchmaking in there. I do not know the extent of that matchmaking. So, anyway, this is music from, this says Bravery and Greed, which does not tell me what game it is from. And that is on me for not having that. Bravery and Greed. Oh, wait, no, there's a game called Bravery and Greed. My bad. I thought it was the track name. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. And welcome back into In-Game Chat. We only have like 10 minutes before the top of the hour. Went a little long with the first segment there. It's as usually is the case with me. So, let's see. Let's look at the year in numbers from last year. Oh, by the way, this is music from Age of Mythology. The track is called Adult Swim, which is interesting. So, I haven't looked over this. It's a little infographic from GameIndustry.biz that talks about, well, it's got different sections. The global games market value, console games, 51.8 billion, browser games, 2.3 billion, PC games, 38 billion. The biggest chunk, if you combine PC gaming, browser gaming, console gaming, they equal half the total of all gaming at 184.4 billion. The other half is occupied by mobile games. Mobile games alone, 92 billion. $92 billion.
That's the reason everyone's trying to make that next
Yeah,
big mobile
exactly.
game.
Here I am playing Snap on my phone here, which to tell you, I haven't bought into it. I mean, I bought into it as far as like I just play it a lot because the games are real quick and they're fun to do. But I haven't put money into it.
Right.
I've never been one of those card guys. You know, one of those guys who, or one of those gamers who plays the card game type stuff, Magic and stuff like that. But man, this thing has hooked me. It's really, really hooked me. And thank God it's digital. I am so glad this is not some physical card game.
Yeah.
Whew. That would be a money sink. I just have to not do it. I'd just be like, well, that's just, I'm never going to play that then. Because yeah, that's not a racket I want to get into. Let's see, boxed versus digital gaming. That's interesting. I say it's interesting. It's really not if you think about it. The console market, though, the PC we know, 2% boxed, 98% digital for PC. Kind of get that. Console market, digital beat out boxed. Digital is 72%. Boxed is 28%. So that's interesting to see. They're kind of moving in that direction. You're not a digital guy, right?
Not really, unless there's no other option.
Right. Let's see. Then we've got our the rankings between, like, the United Kingdom best-selling boxed games in the UK. FIFA 23 was number 1. Elden Ring was number 10. You go over to Japan, best-selling boxed games of the year. Splatoon 3 was number 1. Then it's Pokemon. It's all Nintendo, by the way. In fact, it is all Nintendo. Japan is Splatoon 3. Pokemon is in the second place. Another Pokemon game is in the third place. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands at 4. Nintendo Switch Sports at 5. Mario Kart 8 at 6. Minecraft Switch Edition is 7. Mario Party at 8. Super Smash Bros. At 9. And coming in at number 10 is not a Switch game, but Elden Ring.
Switch. Portable. That's portable, right?
I mean, the Switch is portable, yeah.
Yeah. But that mobile gaming thing is in effect.
Possibly. But yeah, Elden Ring made it in there. If you go to the United States, number 1 best-selling games of the year does not say boxed. It just says best-selling games of the year. At number 1, what do you think it is?
Call of Duty?
Yep.
So I was thinking some game I don't play. Probably, so yeah,
yep.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 at number 1. We'll go backwards on this. Did I play Call of Duty?
Do you play Call of Duty?
No, I don't.
No? Okay.
I might as well just say no.
Yeah.
I don't. MLB The Show was at number 10. FIFA 23 was at number 9. Horizon sequel was at number 8. Pokemon at 7. Pokemon at 6. God of War sequel at 5. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga at number 4. Madden 23 at number 3. We mentioned Call of Duty at number 1. And Elden Ring at number 2. What else did we have in this? New IP versus new releases. Looks like Sony had nothing. Sony had 0 new IP. They had sequels, new releases. They had 5 new releases for Sony. Xbox, including Bethesda, had 4 new IPs and 4 new releases as well. Nintendo had 10 new releases, 0 new IP. Electronic Arts, 0 on new IP, but 6 new releases. Take-Two had 3 new IPs and then 9 new releases. Ubisoft had 1 new IP and then 4 new releases. And Activision Blizzard, 0 on the new IP and 3 on the new releases. Mobile market, there's a lot there. There's a section called the most covered games. Number 1 was Elden Ring. Number 2 was Fortnite. So, number 7 was Cyberpunk on that one. Number 15, the most covered games at number 15 was Destiny 2. Yeah. If you go over to most covered companies, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony in that order.
Okay.
So, yeah. Let's see. Most viewed game trailers. Fortnite at 10. Fortnite hit 10, 9, 8, 6, 5. What the? Number 2 is Poppy Playtime. I don't know what that is, but it's it's the second most viewed game trailer at 54.1 million. Number 1 is League of Legends, by the way. The 2022 season cinematic.
Oh. Poppy Playtime, a survival horror game developed and published by American indie developer Mob Entertainment. Yeah, this is the one with that disturbing pink and blue doll. I want to call it that.
It says Chapter 2 official game trailer is the one that got the views.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which one?
Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 official game trailer. That got 54.1 million. Which is a far cry from what League of Legends had 139 million. So, yeah, big. Most discussed games on Twitter, Genshin Impact, Final Fantasy 14, Elden Ring, Sonic Frontiers made it in there. Top YouTube influencers. Games with most retail placements. Wow, they really did crunch the numbers on this thing. FIFA, by the way, got top on that one.
Most popular game in the world.
It is. It really is. So. There, we ran down the numbers. Glad we did that. And we've only got about a couple of minutes left before we go to the top of the hour here. AC Wraith is celebrating Christmas right now.
Mm-hmm.
They had to delay everything. He said he just got $40 in Steam gift cards. He doesn't have the heart to tell them that the sale is over. Hey, look, that's okay. That $40 hangs around until the next sale. Steam is not short on sales. So just think of it as you got $40 to go into whatever the next sale is, and you can then spend it. Not only that, maybe by the time it rolls around, you'll have gotten more in Steam gift cards. I don't know when your birthday is, AC Wraith, but you can get some more. Hang on to it until the next Christmas thing, and then think of it like this: they just saved you a bunch of money. Even games that are on sale are probably going to be cheaper the next time you're able to spend that money.
Hey man, something's going to be $5. So
always.
So wait till the end.
Always. So, all right. Well, we're going to take a break again. Sorry for the quick one there. We just went way too long earlier. When we come back, we will jump into some more news here, and feel free to, talk to us in chat. Hit us up in Discord as well. Any of those things. Got a game here called Wavetale. I think it's a newer release. Anyway, the name of the track is called Oceans. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music from a game called Rogue Tower. Prelude and Fugue in C minor, I think is what it is. So welcome back to the show. Thought I would try and play a quick game of Marvel Snap in between the commercial break there. Which I did. And just got my... handed to me. Pretty decently. What a great... That guy's got a good hand. Oh no, I forgot there's I screwed up. I messed up pretty badly. Yeah.
Bad strategy?
I think so. I think I did bad. But that's okay. It's fine. I didn't care. So, yeah. Anyway, welcome back to the show, and let's get into some of the news here that we had. I was covering some of the news from last week when I was doing the numbers of 2022. It had just been a while since we had anything going on because we'd been gone for 2 weeks. And so I was going over some of that stuff, and most of it is concerning with 2022, but there are some things concerning this year, some of the exciting games to look forward to this year as well. But some of the news that we had this week, it's just kind of all over the place. Google Stadia is now done. They released one last game. I do not know what that game is or what it has to do with anything. Or why you would release a game. Maybe you were contractually obligated to release that game before it ended. I have no idea. Skull and Bones got delayed. That is the pirate ship game from Ubisoft, which has been in development now for I don't know how many times. It's been delayed for, I don't know, like 10 times already or something like that. It's been delayed many, many times. It just keeps getting delayed. They also canceled a few games as well. I don't know that they mentioned what they canceled, but they did say, it wasn't this and it wasn't this. They didn't tell us what was canceled, but they did say what wasn't canceled. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. Coming up, is it this week? No, it's not this week. I think it's next week. Or the week after the one that's coming up, there is an Xbox showcase with Bethesda, I think. Happens January the 25th. That is a Wednesday. It'll be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, our time. It'll be on YouTube and Twitch, as well as Bethesda's Twitch channel and their YouTube channel as well. Expected to run 45 minutes long. They're going to show more gameplay from Forza Motorsports. What else? Minecraft Legends, some of the PvP multiplayer experience in that game. They're going to also look at single and multiplayer gameplay, including combat customization and bosses in Redfall. What else? It doesn't say that after that. It says that's what they're going to cover. It mentions other games that they could cover, but yeah, they're not. And they're not going to be talking about Starfield. Starfield apparently is going to get its own presentation at some point where they focus strictly on that to talk about it. So we'll get that at some point. After reading about this, because I had read that they were going to be doing this, and now reading what's going to be shown, I was like, well, okay. I'll catch the highlights. I'm not big in Forza Motorsport. I'm really not. I'm not big into that. Minecraft Legends, again, not into that either. Or any kind of Minecraft. I like the only Minecraft I enjoyed playing was the casual mode or whatever. The one where you just build. You don't have to worry about the fact that it gets dark and then the things come out and try to kill you or anything like that. You just build. You don't have to survive. Just build. So the creativity side of it, not the survival side of it, or whatever. So yeah. Ubisoft also announced that the next Assassin's Creed game will be smaller because apparently they've just gotten way too big. What does Ubisoft say? According to Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed Mirage, the upcoming spin-off, is smaller and more intimate because fans grew tired of these giant RPGs, and the devs were more than happy to go in this direction with the latest game in the franchise. While I'll be the first to say that modern Assassin's Creed games have been a lot of fun, I'll also admit that recent entries in the series like Odyssey and Valhalla have become far too big and bloated. More recent Assassin's Creed games, starting with Origins, have evolved the franchise from a series of smaller stealth games set in large cities into a collection of massive open-world RPGs, often filled with hundreds of quests, side quest collectibles. And if you, like me, long for a smaller, more focused Assassin's Creed, well, we aren't alone. That's good. It's not that I never liked the Origins. The Origins trilogy, whatever you want to call it. Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. I'm glad that they did what they did for the franchise. But for me, that made it too big and too... What's the term? I guess there may be a thing as too much, you know? Mm-hmm. I just sat here and talked about God of War and how much there is to do side quest wise, and that I've spent 30 hours playing the game so far. But in something like Assassin's Creed, coming from where I was coming from in those games, Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla both were very, not confusing, but very sort of...
convoluted?
No, I don't want to say convoluted, but it's like, here's a list of all these things you can go do, and then I'm just like, I don't know where to start. I'm just going to back away. That's too much to throw at me at one time.
Sounds like overload.
That, and it felt like there was no cohesion between them. Mm-hmm. It felt like there was nothing that was connecting them outside of just the setting.
Well,
and maybe that's my frame of mind.
I'm trying to think, wasn't there really a connection? Was there
in
any of the in Assassin's Creed? Just like some organization behind the scenes or something. Just, I mean, the characters had.
On your basic story, yes, and from what I have played. I'm trying to remember, because the last Assassin's Creed game that I played before it all switched into this RPG thing was, oh God, the one that was in Victorian London.
Syndicate?
Syndicate. It starts with an S. Was Syndicate. Mm-hmm. I think that's the last one that I played. I was doing a hefty playthrough of that on the PlayStation, going through and doing everything I could play in that, and everything kind of felt, it's not that it felt connected, but it did feel like it belonged where it did. Like when I would go do these side missions for these people, it still felt connected to what I was doing. There was cohesion there. Mm-hmm. In some of the stuff that I was doing in Origins or all the other ones afterwards, the RPGs, it didn't feel like I was doing anything that was relating to my story, my character's story. There was nothing gained from doing that outside of XP or something. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing from that enabled the story. It was a side quest to be a side quest, not a side quest to help develop the character of the story. Didn't feel like it was tacked on. It didn't feel like it was thrown in just to extend it.
I was about to say it was a filler.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was filler. Mm-hmm. I feel like the game became an RPG. The game became something else. And I didn't come along with it, is my problem. Some people did. Matt loves those. But I just, they never sank into me. I was hoping with Odyssey that they would, because I thought, okay, I like Egypt, that's great, whatever, but it didn't feel like it fit. So I thought when they did the Greek stuff, I thought, okay, maybe that's going to hold me. Didn't do it. Then the Vikings, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe this will do it. It did better than the other ones, but... Again, I got, I don't know, it just, I stopped.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't exactly know why it is. Why do I put 30 hours into something like God of War, but I only putting in ever how many hours into something like that? It's because the style of the game changed. It turned into that RPG. Not saying I don't like them, but whatever they were doing with that, it just did not fit with what I was doing with Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
God of War, as open world as it is, doesn't feel like an RPG. It's not. It does have equipment. It does have, loot. It's got plenty of things, but an RPG, it does not feel like that. It does not feel like what Assassin's Creed feels like, where everything is a statistic or something, where they've changed what they've changed about it. So, I don't know. I'm okay with it in a sense that it doesn't disappoint me. It just didn't hold me like I was hoping that it would. But it's not bad because of that. I don't think so at all. I liked what I did play of Valhalla, but it did not hook. It did not hook. And that could be my fault for trying to jump into a game with my kind of mentality of, here's this open world, I need to go scour every single thing. Sometimes, again, blessing curse type thing. Because now I'm going to spend all my time doing that and lose sight of the story, lose sight of the goal type thing.
Yeah.
So far that hasn't happened with God of War, although there have been times, like I said, playing it, where it's like, hey, I'm kind of ready to move this along, but something will happen and I'll be like, I can't. I got to go look at that. I got to go see what's over there. I got to go try and figure that thing out or solve that puzzle. I do love my puzzles, and God of War has plenty of them. So... But yeah, they're going to shrink the Assassin's Creed stuff starting with Mirage. Perfectly fine with that. If you've got Netflix, then open it up on a mobile device, whether it be your phone or your tablet, and go to the games section. There's free games for you to download there. They just added Shredder's Revenge, Ninja Turtles, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Into their free catalog. It's fantastic. I haven't played it on a mobile device, but I know the game is really good, and for it to be free for you to play, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
So go for it. You're already paying for Netflix anyway. Might as well get the free stuff they throw at you. Here's what it was: 18 games for 2003. Alan Wake 2. Yeah, we'll see if that gets released this year. Space Marine 2, I think that is going to happen this year. Like a Dragon Ishin, I think. Is that how it's pronounced, maybe? That's coming out in February. Did you do those games? You played those games, right? It was the Yakuza game?
Yeah, Yakuza. Yeah.
But what about the Like a Dragon? Those are spinoffs, right?
I think it's a spinoff, yeah. Dude was in prison for years, gets out, tries to get back with the family, and there's things have changed. He's trying to adapt. I think that's the story of it.
Was that also Judgment?
Judgment was a lawyer, deposed lawyer.
Or Lost Judgment, whatever it was?
Yeah, that's the lawyer who turns investigator.
But that's also in the Yakuza games, right? That's also, they're all in the same...
Kind of in the same universe, I believe, yeah.
What else do we have? Diablo 4. That's supposed to be coming out in 2023. Baldur's Gate 3, which is out now in early access. Witchfire. Don't know what that... Dark fantasy shooter. Oh, they're being developed by the guys who did Painkiller. Oh, yeah. People Can Fly. That's the name of the dev team. Man, James and I loved Painkiller. Hades 2 coming out this year. Sigil 2. I don't know what that is. Starfield at some point. Mask of the Rose. Oh, it's a visual novel dating sim horror. These are from the developers who made Sunless Skies and Sunless Sea as well. There's also an RPG that they made called Fallen London, and a paper RPG that they made called Fallen London. And Mask of the Rose apparently is going to tie into those universes. I might be interested in that. It's very, very, I don't want to say dialogue heavy, but very text heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm good for that. Sometimes I'm not. Depends. Darkest Dungeon 2 comes out next month. Company of Heroes 3 comes out next month. Tempest Rising. That is sometime this year. Street Fighter 6 is on the list in June. Ooh, what is Manor Lords? Ooh, it's a city builder, a base. Manor Lords looks like it'll check all those boxes. Survival game, farming game, base builder, city builder.
Medieval strategy game featuring in-depth city building, large-scale tactical battles, and complex economic and social simulations.
I know. Sounds great. Sounds great. Armored Core 6, of course. Is that something you might jump into, Armored Core 6?
I've never been into the Armored Core series, actually.
See, one of these Today I Learned type of things, not today, but the day this was announced, I didn't know it was a From Software game.
Yeah.
So, given that they are doing the development mode on it, is this something you're going to take a look at least, or you?
No, I mean it's Armored Core.
Okay.
They've always developed it, right? I've never looked at it.
I've never
since.
played anything.
Yeah,
I've heard of the name before, but it's been so long since I've seen one that I hardly remember anything about it. And when I was seeing this, I was like, why is From Software doing a mech game? And then it's like Armored Core 6. Why is From Software picking up a franchise from some other team? Oh no, it's theirs.
They've always done that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we get folks on social media talking about it. They said, it's not Dark Souls with mechs. Let's get that idea out your heads right now. It's not Dark Souls with mechs.
So it's not a Soul style game.
Apparently not. It's a mech fighting game,
which is weird because that's all I can associate with them. Even though that stuff came about after this Armored Core stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. It's also interesting that they pick their next game to be, hey, we've done, God, how many games have they done since then?
We've created a series.
You created a genre.
Yeah. So
called Souls-like.
The Soul series. We've made that. Now we're going back to basics.
It's like, what are we gonna develop next? Well, we got Armored Core. Why don't we jump back into that? It's nothing like what we've been doing, which is probably for them. They're like, thank God. Yeah. They're probably tired of doing that.
I don't know. People are clamoring for a Bloodborne 2 or a Bloodborne remake.
That's fine. Give it to Blue Point.
That's a plan. That's thought. That's an idea.
Look, it's Sony anyway, because I know Bloodborne is only on Sony systems right now. It's not on PC.
No.
So Sony's obviously got that in the bag. Give it to Blue Point, who you bought. Have them do a remake.
Mm-hmm.
And then release it on PC if it belongs to your, that's your thing to do with it. Put it on PC, get some more money out of it.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed Mirage is the last game on the list, which comes out later this year. We say, and probably true because they skipped a Assassin's Creed release this past year. So due for one coming up next year. AC Ray says, I loved Armored Core on PS1. No dual stick standard back then. Use shoulder buttons to aim. God, that goes back.
I'm trying to think of the last dual stick Steel Battalion.
Dual stick shooter?
Dual stick mech game. I think it was. That big controller, I think it was dual stick.
It could be that it's Steel Battalion. The last mech game that I played was...
That was Virtual On.
Man, what is the name of that company?
Oh, yeah, I think, it was dual stick.
It's not Hexen. Oh, man.
It wasn't Hexon?
No.
Was this a mech game?
It was a mech game, yes. Hawken. Okay. Yes. Hawken. Hawken was the last one.
Okay.
Oh wow, you can still play it. It's free to play.
Free to play.
God, it just the game looked amazing. The settings, the way it all looked was fantastic.
So what was the drawback?
Free to play. Not saying that free to play is a bad thing, but when you go free to play, there's certain things that are done in games when you go free to play, and not always good. It was a pure multiplayer game. It was pure PvP. I don't think it had a story mission or anything like that. It was all PvP all the time. And so, you win a match, you get money, you outfit your mech, or you buy a new mech, or you do all this other stuff. But
see, Meteor Entertainment and 505 Games.
Yeah, that was
released in 2012.
Yeah. The head developer on that game, Jason is his name. He's the friend of the show, really. I still have him on Twitter, but he used to pick me up in L.A. whenever I'd fly in, take me to the hotel for E3 week, because he was in there as well.
Yeah.
He got a job working for Blizzard. He worked on Diablo 4 a long time ago. Early stages of developing for Diablo 4. He doesn't work with them anymore, though. I don't know where he's at now. So, AC Wraith says Armored Core is sort of a mission-based third-person shooter with profit used to upgrade your highly customizable mech. Yeah, mission-based third-person shooters, that's perfectly fine to have a story attached to what you're doing. I remember one of the first mech games I ever played was Mech Warrior. And that was on... No, I'm sorry, not Mech Warrior, Mech Assault. Back when Xbox Live first came on the scene, when you could hook up your Xbox to the internet, and I had to run a really long cable from one end of the house to the other and plug it into the back of my Xbox so it would connect, because there was no Wi-Fi. And so when I did that, one of the games that you could buy to play on Xbox Live was Mech Assault. And that's one of the first, might be the first mech game I ever played, was Mech Assault. I was not into Mech Warrior. I was not into any of that. I knew a lot of people who were, but it never clicked with me. So
yeah, I
didn't really like Mech Assault either.
Yeah.
So.
I think one of the standout features for Armored Core was always just its customizability.
Customization.
I think that was the biggest drawing point of the game.
I feel like it would be. Yeah. So. All right, what else we got left on this news here? Got some stuff from, like I said, from last week, which even goes back further than that. And we'll jump into some of that when we come back. We do have a break to take. I'm going to post a video. God, now I've forgotten his name. I'm trying to see Lethal Migraine in the thing. No, he's not. But we do have Ninja Bibs, AC Wraith, 01 Ella, Alicidra, another TV viewer, Ashley, Avasmafor, Bama Bryan, Commander Root, Drapsnat, that's a great name, Drunk Degenerates, Evans04111, Multile, Stephen Van Dam, Stulu89, and Thar66 hanging out in the chat room. I want to say hi to all of you who are hanging out there, and thank you so much for joining us and listening to me just go on and on and on about nothing. Yep, dude from Rick and Morty and High on Life is absolutely in trouble. High on Life still, I think, is the top game on Game Pass right now. But yeah, he has got some
explaining to do.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily know explaining. He's better off just going away. Just go, just leave. You might as well shut down, hand over Rick and Morty to somebody else if you can, or just end it. Because
we're talking you need to disappear for a while.
He's got felony charges.
Oh, you're going away for a while,
right?
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm like, just get out of it. That's the other thing on this game. Well, I'm sure Microsoft put a ton of money in it. I doubt it's going anywhere, but it just released, and now these charges have been out. Charges that have been around, by the way, since 2020, I think, which nobody apparently knew about or reported on or anything like that. But there's they're felony domestic abuse charges. So yeah, he's not in a good place. I'm guessing you're reading up on this right now from the look of your face. I
just looked up Rick and Morty in trouble, and then a whole bunch of stuff just went fight.
Well, Rick and Morty in trouble. You probably got a lot of plot stuff from the TV show or something.
No, the first thing that popped up was something
Justin Roiland?
Not very flattering. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, okay.
So,
yeah. So anyway, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we will have more in-game chat on our last little segment here. Music from a game called Lone Ruin is what we're going to hear from, and we'll be back with more right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music here from River City Girls 2. The name of this track is Blair, I believe. Mm-hmm. Hey, the next track that we've got comes from a game that you may know. I think it's a fighting game. Rumblefish?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fighting game?
Yep.
God.
Had a very unique animation style. Very realistic looking.
Really?
Yeah, it was very realistic looking at the time.
The game art, the box art, or whatever it was, the thumbnail art for the video I did looked more like, gave it a Samurai Showdown feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it wasn't like that. It was kind of a cross between.
I'm
kind
going
of
to
hard to describe. Kind of a
That's
cel-shaded hand art thing, but it was animated very well. I mean, I played the arcade version of it.
Let me look at here. What? Okay.
Look at Rumblefish or Rumblefish 2?
I'm looking at Rumblefish. Should I look at Rumblefish 2? Oh, wait, this says Rumblefish 2.
Mm-hmm.
The backgrounds look really detailed, but the characters still look like cartoons.
What?
Unless I'm looking at... Okay, I'm still seeing... This is all Rumblefish 2. Did they change art styles going from the first one to the second one?
I hope not, because it looked really good in the arcade version I played.
I mean, maybe...
I don't know if it's an emulated part, but it looked pretty good to me. Wait.
I mean, I'm not saying it looks bad, but it doesn't look realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Are
you looking at a video or
I'm just looking at screenshots, man.
Okay, look at a YouTube video of it.
See, here's a screenshot.
I'm looking at the.
Does this look?
Screen.
Does this look like anything of what you're looking at? No.
I'm looking at the Steam, the one on Steam.
Okay.
Just look at the animation of it on YouTube or something and see what you think.
I'll have to do that then.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what we've got coming up. It's a fighting game, and I know he does the fighting stuff, so that's why I was asking if he knew anything about it. Anyway, moving on from there. What did we have? Hitman 3 is going to become World of Assassination. It will include Hitman 1 and 2. And there's a fantastic video for Hitman that is out there. I meant to go and Google that for you and try and find it, so I could post it in the chat room. Let me see. Yeah, I guess, is that the one? Yep, that's the one, because that's the one that I looked at. So I'm going to share this into our chat, so you guys can watch it. It's quite a long video. In fact, it is... Yeah, it's about 30 minutes, but there's different sections of it. They created a challenge for Hitman players that had a prize of $1,000 on the fastest you could get kills. And there were just some amazing creative ways that they went through and got those kills.
Legit or...
Legit.
Okay.
Legit. There was no
not no glitch work.
Yeah, yeah.
Legit.
This isn't Awesome Games Done Quick or anything like that, where they used parts of it to break it to get through it fast. No. These are legit, no glitch kills that they've done, and it's fascinating. Part of it's fascinating to see them be able to pull this off. The other part of it is fascinating that the devs programmed all of that in there and said, "Well, no, if they're going to do this, this is what's going to happen." You know, so. I thought it was fascinating and really, really cool to see some of that. What else do we have? I'm just looking through my notes here. Microsoft has said that Final Fantasy XVI and Silent Hill 2, the remake, will not come to Xbox consoles. That will be a Sony thing, maybe a PC thing, but it's not going to be on the consoles. Or not going to be on Microsoft's consoles. In fact, where is that? The producer, and I'm going to pop up this because I'd like you I'd like to get his full quote. Final Fantasy XVI Drops on June 22nd. It is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. The article says that exclusivity is a bit of a bummer, as other Final Fantasy games were also available on PC, and the last mainline entry was multi-platform. But unfortunately, at least for now, the new Final Fantasy game will remain on PlayStation 5 only, according to the game's producer. Yoshi P is his name. He was interviewed at a Mahjong tournament over the weekend, where he was asked whether Final Fantasy XVI would come to PC, something that Square Enix confirmed when it revealed the game almost 2 years ago. However, despite the detail found in the footnote text at the bottom of the trailer, Yoshi P said the release information is wrong. According to a rough translation by the Japanese Gaming News, in fact, there may not be a PC version coming at all. Yoshi P is apparently suggesting to folks, nobody said a word about a PC version releasing. Why is it like a PC version is releasing 6 months later? Don't worry about that. Buy a PS5. Sorry, I went overboard. We did our best, so please look forward to it. Apparently, there is no PC version.
Yeah, that usually doesn't go well with the consumer base.
It's interesting, though, that he's purporting that a PC version is not planned, because this article went through some old trailers, and it definitely was stated that it is not available on other platforms for a limited time after release on PS5, suggesting that it could possibly hit other consoles in the future at very least. However, all recent marketing for the game, from newer trailers to its official website, now makes no mention of it coming to PC. Looks like it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Speaking of exclusives, and this has nothing to do with the games, but both Google and NVIDIA have expressed concerns, and I'm using quotes, expressed concerns over Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. So now Sony is expressing concerns. Google and NVIDIA are expressing concerns. This, as much as I thought this was really going to happen, I'm starting to have my doubts that this may not come about. But the trial is not until August. So we've got until then. But I'm curious, if the trial goes through, let's see. According to the report, Google and NVIDIA have warned Microsoft would gain an unfair advantage in mobile, subscription, and cloud, but NVIDIA stopped short of expressly opposing the deal, instead opting to hammer home the importance of equal access to games. Google is set to shut down Stadia later in January, but it operates the Google Play Store for Android devices. According to filings with the UK's, Competition and Markets Authority, whatever that is, Microsoft plans to create a new Xbox mobile gaming store, and the purchase of Activision Blizzard and King is key to the plan. NVIDIA, meanwhile, has made a significant investment in its own game streaming service, GeForce Now. In 2021, Microsoft was among a number of tech companies who protested against NVIDIA's $40 billion acquisition of a semiconductor firm called ARM out of the UK, which the company eventually abandoned. This feels like payback. PlayStation maker Sony has so far spearheaded opposition to Microsoft's proposed Activision takeover, which has a June 2023 deadline. It's looking increasingly likely that deadline will be missed. Yeah, it does. Because their trial is set for late August. But just like Thar said, Google has issues about them buying. Yeah, go away, Google.
Yeah.
You too, NVIDIA. Really, stay out of this. I don't think NVIDIA. See, NVIDIA's, given what Microsoft did to NVIDIA, and probably Microsoft should have stayed out of that one when they did it. NVIDIA feels like they're just doing it to get back at them on this. Mm-hmm. No real legit concern. Google, I don't know. Did they get some money from Sony to say, hey, you should protest this to help us along? It feels like it's a Sony-Microsoft fight. It really does. And it doesn't feel like there's anybody else who would have something to lose or gain by the selling or not.
Yeah.
You know? Like Sony is worried about losing Call of Duty on their systems. And I guess maybe Diablo 4. Mm-hmm. Google has nothing to... I don't understand why Google's feeling that way. I would think they would look at Apple first before they would ever care about Microsoft. Microsoft tried a Zune, for God's sakes, and that went nowhere. Mm-hmm. If Microsoft is trying to do some online mobile game thing, let them. I mean, if it works, it works. But I don't think it's going to cause a dent in your revenue, Google or Apple's. That's the other thing. If Google's proposing this or saying, "Hey, this is we have some concerns," then if they're legit enough, wouldn't Apple also have the same concerns? Maybe. Not necessarily. I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the inner workings of this. I don't know the spreadsheets of, like, here's what happens when Microsoft does this and how we're going to be affected.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I don't know. It could have been one of them situations, like you said, something looks good on paper, looks bad on paper, and we have to do something about this now or whatever. I don't know.
I don't either. But still, it feels like it's a Sony versus Microsoft fight. Mm-hmm. Nobody else involved. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't get the fight.
The sticking point to me was Call of Duty, I guess, one of the biggest
That's
games in the world.
That's the one game.
But it's a game I don't play, so I didn't really give it much thought, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
and honestly, I think that's why Microsoft bought them, was for that Call of Duty franchise. I don't think I think Diablo's a nice little icing on the cake, but I don't think there's anything else there for them. Mm-hmm. I don't think Overwatch has what it used to have. Hearthstone certainly doesn't. So it is Diablo, Call of Duty. Might also be Candy Crush, because I know that's the mobile thing from King, King Games. That part I'm not. That part is. I'm worse on that part than I am on any other parts of it, and I'm worse on those as it is, because I don't know exactly everything about it. But yeah, like I said, it feels like it's a Sony fight. Sony versus Microsoft. So NVIDIA, Google, stay out of the way. Not that they're going to listen to me. So. What else do we have as I'm looking through my news here? Games of 2022. Oh, well, that's just certain games. The state of PlayStation in 2022. What do we have? PlayStation becomes a movie and TV brand. Spider-Man game, but there's also the movie. Well, Into the Spider-Verse, maybe. I don't know. Because I know he shows up there. The Uncharted film.
That's right, yeah.
Last of Us getting there. By the way, Last of Us is tomorrow night. HBO. Episode 1. I think it's 9 episodes. I believe it's
9.
Yeah, I know, right? That's an awfully odd number, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess the exposure, like Netflix, I guess, is like I'm used to like 8, maybe. If it's a short series, maybe 8 episodes or an even dozen or something like that. But 9.
Thar66 says it's getting great reviews. It is getting very good reviews. I wish it wasn't HBO. I wish it was like Netflix, where you get all the episodes at once and I could binge it, or at least watch enough of it that I could, whatever. I'm not a fan of watching week to week. I'm really not.
No,
not anymore. Again,
no, Netflix.
I know.
Netflix is giving us giving you the blueprint of how folks want their entertainment now. To go for a full circle with this episode, we opened with, back in my day, we didn't have cell phones, and you just had to go through the day without having them. Well, back in my day, and your day, and a lot of other people's days, we had to watch shows once a week, or as they released. Mm-hmm. And now we're spoiled on that. We want them all at once. Not because I'm going to watch them all at one time, but because when I'm ready for the next one, it's there. 1, for convenience. 2, you don't have to remember what happened last week. God. You don't need a recap. That's a definite benefit of having the binge watching aspect. You don't need a recap.
I know.
Episode of everything.
One of the best things, Wendy and I did she had not seen it, but we went through Game of Thrones, all 8 seasons, and being able to watch them the way we did, I enjoyed it so much better than I remember. Than how I watched it once a week,
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So, yeah. Yeah. So I'm spoiled in that. A lot of the stuff that released on Disney Plus, Mandalorian, stuff like that, I would bank episodes, like hold off, and give myself like, okay, I got 3 I can watch, and when I would watch 3, or I would bank other episodes, What We Do in the Shadows, stuff like that were weekly releases. I would just hold off, so because even if I'm not watching them all in one night, kind of like Walking Dead, not the series, the video game that was released episodic. You get a part of the game, and then 2 months later you get another part, and then 2 months later another part, usually, if it didn't delay. But when I played Season 1, after it was all released and it was on that one disc, it was an episode a night, and that was fantastic. That was a wonderful way to play that game.
Yeah.
Just an episode a night, or an episode every other night if you were going to do it that way, but not waiting months in between.
Yeah, you got the full game in one sitting.
Right. It sat there. I mean, it was all relevant. It wasn't something like, God, I can't remember what I did in this one, or it's been a while. I don't remember the controls, even though those controls for those games are very simple.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's kind of like Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
Because I remember that the recap stuff going on in there.
Yep. Amazon's making a God of War TV show. Netflix has signed on for Horizon series. Peacock apparently is streaming a Twisted Metal show. Interesting.
Yeah, that sounds like something that'd be in a series or whatever.
Yeah. PlayStation continued to expand beyond consoles to PC. Yeah, that was good. Sony bought Haven, Savage, Bungie. So they got all of those game studios. They're releasing PlayStation VR 2 this year. PlayStation Plus got extra tiers and all this other stuff. So a lot of changes for PlayStation in basically a year. PlayStation 4 is still doing pretty good. PlayStation 5 is getting easier and easier to find. So, yeah. They didn't do a state of Microsoft or state of Xbox in 20, or if they did, I didn't see it. So. But yeah, I'm just looking over the chat room here. Bama Bryan says the first episode is almost 90 minutes long of Last of Us. Multa says, no trying to record the VHS tape, but the clock is wrong and you need to fix it before you can go to bed. Bama Bryan says, or the previous show went 5 minutes over, so your show cut off early. Yeah, exactly. I used to hate that. There was some show I was taping on Sundays, and if football was on,
there's no telling.
Yeah, or a NASCAR race or something else.
Definitely no telling.
It would push it back. Always push it back.
Yep.
So, yeah. And Game Pass is still, as far as the console thing goes, Game Pass is just running laps around PlayStation Plus in their tiered system. It really, really is.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can do something with it this year. By that I mean PlayStation Plus to compete a little bit with that if they want to. I don't necessarily know.
I'm not seeing it.
I don't think they want to make it a competition, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they can make it a competition.
No, they can't.
I say they could. They could try harder. Put it that way. I don't know that they could.
What more can they do?
Well, they can put games on. They could put more of their first-party titles in that free-to-play, not free-to-play, but whatever. That's that mid-tier subscription service where you could play them. Like right now, it's just Returnal that is available on there. But they could put things like Ratchet and Clank, that it was a launch title, one of theirs. They could put that in there. They could put God of War Ragnarok, or they could put. There's a lot that they could put in there. They could start making those just like Microsoft does. Your first-party titles are getting released so that you can play them if you were subscribed.
Yeah,
I think it would go a long way with that. Especially Microsoft doesn't have a lot of first-party titles. They've got a lot of studios that they own, but they're all busy working on things. They don't have a lot of first-party titles that keep getting released, or released enough that it feels like, every week or every month there's something new. Sony doesn't really have that either, but lately Sony has had more than what Microsoft has had. Now, the more studios Microsoft buys up, especially when Activision Blizzard gets bought, the more they can start having these first-party titles since they're now owned by Microsoft. It's just interesting to me that Microsoft has all these studios at their disposal.
Someone's probably looking at Sony thinking there's too much to give away.
I'm sure.
At that price.
I'm sure.
That's probably what it is. Because when you think about the number of titles that's been available, and how much a month you paying?
Mm-hmm. For which one are you talking about?
Compared
to Game Pass? Game Pass
is how much a month?
What did we say, 80 or 100 or something? I can't remember what it was.
I'm sorry, how much is a year then?
Or not a month, a year. It was like 80 a year, 100 a year, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Because they don't sell year subscriptions to it.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's over $100 for a year. They sell 3 months and maybe 6 months. But
they don't sell 1 month?
They sell 1 month too, I believe.
So how much for 1 month? 15?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think it's $16 a month.
16 a month.
Yeah.
And all those titles accessible for free.
Mm-hmm. All
those titles.
Yeah. No, and
Sony looks at that and it's like, we can't match that. It probably the cost effectiveness, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
They're trying. I mean, that middle tier has a lot of games that you can play, and they're not all first-party titles. But
try all you want. It's not matching what Game
no,
Pass
it's
is
not.
offering.
Of course not. No,
because until it does, no one's gonna give it serious thought.
It's just interesting to me that Microsoft has all those studios, and there's not more first-party titles getting released from them. You know?
Yeah.
Sony,
but the console's nothing without its games.
I know. No, it's not. Get games like Lies of P and Atomic Heart on there day one, like Game Pass, Chained Echoes as well. Get stuff like that. Yeah, I know. They pull in outside of third-party or first-party titles. They've got third parties that they put in there. The library is less than what it is, and you know what? I'm not sure on the rotation. Like Microsoft, every month, new games come in, old games go out. Mm-hmm. It's kind of flows. I'm not sure on Sony. I don't know that there's that much movement month to month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
like, hey, these games are leaving your free pass thing, whatever you want to call it, your essential tier, and then something else comes in. I mean,
heck, if you download it, put it on your hard drive, there you go.
True.
I mean, heck, I've still got the backup from my PS3 with all types of stuff that I've downloaded from the PlayStation Store that was free with my PlayStation Plus account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got lots in there too.
Yeah.
I need to go download this month's games, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. RJ and I are going to go chuck axes at a wall.
At a wall?
Well, wood.
Not people.
Not people, at a wall, yeah.
But yeah, from what I'm told, keep your head on a swivel out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ricochets happen.
We want to thank everybody for joining us in the chat room, as well as everybody listening online on the stream and on the radio as well. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on iTunes, and join us all over the place. We are everywhere. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic week. Stay safe of any other storms that are going to be coming through, because God, what a week it was. Here is music from, we talked about it earlier, The Rumblefish. This is a track called Ruins. We'll see you next Saturday. Good night.